We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we are active on X, Nigerian for PHST handle. So right now, I would like us to look at something that has to do with development in Rivers State. 3 levels of government: federal, states, local government. Now, we've been told that each of these levels should be or shall be a democratically elected government. However, the local government over the years has been one that has been worst hit because usually we would see a caretaker structure being put up at that level. Now, currently, as we have been told, we have about 21 states out of 36 running a caretaker government at the local government level. We've seen the reps talk about suing state governors where they have local government areas being run by caretaker committees. We've seen several people come out to say stuff as it relates. By the way, there is a Supreme Court case as it relates to the autonomy of local government. But that's not what we want to discuss right now. What we want to discuss right now is the fact that like I said yesterday, this week makes it a month since the police took over the 23 secretariats of the various local governments in Rivers State. Now, at the time, the IGP had given the directive that the police should occupy, put the secretariats under lock and key, pending the resolution of the political matters in the state. We had the Court of Appeal. According to reports, I have not seen the certified copy, but we have seen the report that the Court of Appeal struck out the matter as it relates to the elongation of the tenure of the ex-local government chairman. So that means there is some level of peace because the former local government chairman would not have what to hold on to, in my opinion, except they go for an appeal. And if they go for an appeal, does that give them the right to continue to hold on to the office of the chairman of the local government? I'd like to hear your thoughts, but first let's talk with my guest, who is a professor of law at Rivers State University. Of course, you know him. I'm talking about Barrister Richard Wokocha. Prof, it's good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Good evening, Carla, and good evening, Nigerians.
All right. So my first question to you is, so many arguments since the governor appointed the various caretaker chairmen. Is there any legal backing to a caretaker government, given some lawyers would argue that the constitution is clear that it must be a democratically elected government? Let's start from there, please.
Is there a legal backing? Yes.
Okay.
Actually, every state has in it a local government law, local government administration law, as we call it in our own state. They have a provision providing for eventuality.
Okay.
Should you have a situation where tenure elapses for the officers at the local government level and elections have not been held, they all provide for what should happen. And I think this is natural. First, to recognize the fact that Section 7 of the Constitution puts the responsibility for providing law and how the local governments are to be run. It puts that responsibility in the hands of the state, for the state House of Assembly to make laws that will regulate all that. So naturally, all states have made laws and they provided for what should happen if that situation arises. And they all have as a transitional measure the provision that a caretaker committee should be appointed to run the election itself as it can be held. So they all have that provision.
Okay.
And the Supreme has held repeatedly, not just one case or two. The Supreme Court has said, look, admitting the local government by caretaker committee is inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution, which says it should be run by democratically elected person. So the Supreme Court has said those laws are unconstitutional. Unfortunately, those laws have not been amended by the various houses of assembly of states. Perhaps maybe because they have not found an alternative for what to put as a transition.
Prof.
Those laws have not been amended. So,
Prof,
is
sorry.
the appointment of technical committee legal? Yes. It is provided for by the law regulating local government administration.
Prof, can I come in now? If it's not constitutional, I mean, you and many other lawyers have taught us that anything that goes contrary to the law, any law or any, enactment that goes contrary to the law is null and void. That's what we've been taught. So if the Supreme Court is given such a verdict and the Supreme Court is said to be the finality, then why are we then holding on to laws that have not, I'm wondering.
Supreme Court pronouncing on the position of the law. So the Supreme Court has said, look, these laws you have are inconsistent. But they are laws. The power to make those laws are vested in the lawmakers. Now, in every responsible country, when the Supreme Court makes pronouncements defining or providing clarity on the legal position, the legislature amends the law to correspond with it. You have an example in the 2002 Electoral Act. After the Supreme Court pronounced certain things, including 4 years tenure for local government as unconstitutional, and the fact that the National Assembly has the power to make laws regulating local government election and all that. Immediately that happened, the National Assembly amended the Electoral Act and removed those things. Now, in this case, it has not been done. Let me tell you the implication. If there is a law that contains something that is unconstitutional, that law is liable to be struck down if it's raised before the. Now, if a law has also been raised before the court and the court strikes it down, say a particular state law has gone before the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court struck it down, that section is struck down. Then, in the case of Rivers State, Rivers State, interestingly, Rivers State has a case bordering on that issue right now before the Supreme Court. The elected chairman and the local council members who were sacked by the last administration when it took over. Before it appointed caretaker committee with which it ran the state until it conducted elections using this law, the local government administration law. That case is still in court. It has gone from the High Court to Court of Appeal. From there, it's presently before the Supreme Court and has not been decided. So it's actually a rest before the Supreme Court. It's a matter before the Supreme Court that is yet to be decided. That is the local government administration law of Rivers State with respect to the power of appointing caretaker committee and removing democratically elected council members. So that is the position. Where a particular issue has come up and the court has made pronunciation, it is silent. Whether the legislature amend or not, that part of the law is as if it does not exist. But if a different law carries a similar liability, it is liable to be struck down.
Okay.
But if it is a law, valid law, it is still valid until it's struck down.
Okay. Now you've given the.
If anybody goes to court now and raises that issue, the person will cite the Supreme Court decisions and the court will agree with him and strike down the law. But as you speak presently, it has not been struck down.
Okay. Yet again, let's go with the explanation you have made about, Supreme Court or a court making a decision on a law as enacted, and the legislative arm of government would have to revisit the law, edit it, and remove whatever is there. Now, we do know that the police have, besieged the. Can I use that word? I think I can. I've been occupying the secretariats of the 23 local governments, and the reason is because of a law being made saying if the government, for any reason, I mean, the law was enacted by the Martin Ameode-led assembly, there is, of course, the question as to whether they're still lawmakers or not, but that's not where we are right now. No, the law was enacted by that assembly, and they argued that if for any reason that elections, local government elections, cannot hold, then there should be an extension. Now, the matter was taken to court. It was struck down at the High Court level. It went to the Court of Appeal, and it has also, been struck down, according to how you explained it. If the law is not amended, assuming Martin Ameode-led assembly is the authentic assembly, then if I go by your argument, does it mean that the law still stands until edited?
If what Martin Ameode and Co. did was a law, even in that case, it will stand struck down because that particular law has been pronounced upon. That is the local government administrative law of Rivers State, has been pronounced upon by a court of competent jurisdiction. You know what I explained to you? I said, if your own goes to court and court makes pronunciation, it's a guide to me. If I fail to amend my own is liable to suffer the same fate if it is challenged. But what affects your own? The striking down of your own law does not automatically strike down my own laws. That's why it's a guide to me. And I should learn from it and amend my own. So in this case, assuming that Martin Ameode and Co. were Rivers State House of Assembly when they made that amendment, it died when the court of competent jurisdiction struck it down. And that has been affirmed now by the Court of Appeal decision. The recent decision by the Court of Appeal a few days ago. So, but you and I know that that was not a law. The operative law in Rivers State is the Rivers State Local Government Administration Law number 5 of 2018. Not what was done by that committee or assemblage of ex-assemblymen. So that is not a law. But
we would wait for the courts to decide on that. But Prof,
nothing for the court to decide in that.
Okay, but it's in court. That's what I'm saying. So the courts will decide on that. But Prof, looking at the police now, what should be their move? Because, like you've said, the Court of Appeal has affirmed the State High Court's ruling. Do you think the police still has the legal backing as to the occupation of the 23 local government secretariats?
The police has no business occupying that place, shutting down those places. The police, as I have explained, have always had a right or power or duty to secure the places in the event that intelligence information revealed to them that there are plots to have a breach of the peace in those places. Securing a place is distinct from seizing the place. Shutting down a place and locking it up is not part of the police powers. It's not. So ab initio, even that action was wrong. The IET has no power to order local government secretariats to be locked down. The power he has is to increase security presence around the local government and make sure that nobody interferes with the public functions and public activities at the local government, which is an administrative center under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
So it was illegal in the first place. And right now that that issue has been decided, they have no business.
Prof, we have a commercial. We have a commercial.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
Let's take a look at the headline news. Governor Fubara says he will rather resign than rule Rivers State on his knees. Rivers Information Commissioner dismissed ultimatum by Amelia Assembly. Former PDP spokesperson Olopgodinyo faults party for failing to resolve Rivers crisis. NLC in Rivers State faults continued police barricades at Council Secretariat despite court ruling. Rivers State Transport Company resumes operations after 4 years. CJN says judges who give misleading, conflicting judgment will face consequences. On the foreign scene, Israel military tells Gaza City residents to leave. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kalada Guru Batabo. Conversations continue. Just stay tuned.
And now, hard facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, it is the bottom of the hour. You're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Welcome. This is Hard Facts, and we are talking about police barricading council secretariats despite court ruling. Yeah, that's our conversation. And I have with me Professor Richard Wokocha. Is a professor of law at the Rivers State University. Welcome back, Prof. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Kalada.
All right. So, yeah, just before the commercial break, you were saying that the police does not have any reason holding the local government secretariats under lock and key. Did I get you right?
You're correct.
Okay. So, and you're also saying there is no legal backing at all. In the first place, they should not have been able to lock that place. They were only supposed to have improved the security of that area. Then at this point, what can be done to vacate the police from continuing their occupation of the various local government secretariats?
Maybe the state government will have to consider, so far, I should make this observation that so far, I have not had the state government complain about it. So if all parties are satisfied with the shutting down of the place, then I will say I will have no comment to say on that or to make on that, except that, as you asked, the position of the law is that it is unlawful to shut down the place. What is lawful is to flood the place with security presence, such as would deter or prevent anybody from being able to cause a breach of the peace, and not to shut it down. Maybe when the state government, as it stands now, when the state government is uncomfortable about it, maybe what they will have to do is resort to the court to order the police to work by the law.
Okay, looking at what we started with, which is the legality of the CTCs, do they have the locus to go to court and challenge the continued?
You have to go to court and challenge it.
I'm asking if they have the locus. I'm talking about the caretaker chairman now. Do they have the locus to go to court?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
They'll have to go to court to challenge it, unless you can produce a judgment in which the court have said Rivers State local government law is struck down. Those section 18 subsection of Rivers State local government law is struck down. If you can't produce a judgment to that effect, you have to go to court and get the court to strike it down. You cannot strike it down on your own. You cannot, on the strength of verbal argument, argue that it is not legal. You will seek the court for the court which have the power to strike it down.
So I'm going to ask this question. There are matters. I think one or two matters. Let's just even go with the one that I am very sure of. There is the matter at the Supreme Court that has to do with the autonomy of local government across the country. Could that also be a reason as to why? No. I'm just asking because we are wondering. There is a Court of Appeal judgment now, but the police is still and let's even say the
police is acting illegally, clearly illegally.
Okay.
It cannot, the matter before the Supreme Court has nothing to do with the legal status of those things. until that court makes a pronouncement. You don't act preempting what the court will do. It will still be contemptuous. It will be contempt to do so. To enforce what you think the court will say. You wait for the court to say what it has to say, and you apply the law.
All right. So, not even in the guise of saying they are trying to prevent a breakdown of law and order, where, ex-local government chairman and caretaker chairman are fighting, that's not even a good enough excuse as to their continued...
It's not.
Interesting. All right.
It's not.
Okay. All right. So, your advice is that the city...
If that was an excuse, then they should be shutting down every local government in Nigeria, since it involves every state. So it's not an excuse for what is going on in River State.
All right. I wanted to ask, so the C2C chairman, you have advised that they should go to court and ask that the police leave and vacate the premises of the secretariats of the various local governments.
Yes, those who feel that the compliance with the River State Administrative Local Government Administration Law of 2018 is unlawful should approach the court. Yeah, they should approach the court so that the court can do what it is established for, strike it down.
All right.
And give appropriate orders.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the phone lines. I really do thank you, but let's listen to the listeners and callers, and let's get to hear what is on their mind as it relates to this very issue. What are your thoughts? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. Now, what I've gleaned from the conversation with the Prof is, one, although Supreme Court on several occasions have said that it is illegal to have caretaker government at the local government level, Rivers State has not been taken to court, and so the law stands until it is challenged. Secondly, the police, according to him, does not have the right, to have even locked that place in the first place, because the place was built to function, right? The place is backed by law. What the police should have done was to improve security, the number of men, tactics, information or intelligence. That's what he has said. And then fourthly, he is saying that either of the government, that's the caretaker government or the River State government, should go to court and ask the court to tell the police to vacate. But what are your thoughts, really? Do you think maybe the police being there has brought about some level of peace and they should continue to stay there? Do you think it is time, now that we have a Court of Appeal judgment, for the police to leave? I'd like to hear from you. Like I said, 1 month and counting. Richard is calling me from Ishokpo, I do believe. Okay, let's listen to Richard. Richard, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome. Let's hear your thoughts.
For me, I think the local government or the CTC chairman should go to court and seek legal solution.
Okay, I think we lost that call. He said they should go to court and seek legal solution, and then the call ended. So I'm going to listen to Gospel, and Gospel is calling me from, before I get the location, I think somewhere in Port Harcourt. This one says elected chairman tenure extension is still stands because the Court of Appeal have said, the State High Court. I mean, that's totally different. I wonder where you're coming from. But you said the State High Court has no jurisdiction over the River State House of Assembly. So that takes care of what Justice Q of State High Court said about extension is nullified. The Appeal Court only struck out an application for joinder because in the eyes of the law it was no longer existing because of lack of jurisdiction from Mass. All right. This one says, greetings, Canada. In a functional constitutional democracy, the law is the law and the government shall always submit to the rule of law. Section 7 of the Grand Norm recommends only democratically elected persons to man the administration of the local government councils in Nigeria. In a follow-up, Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution is altered, states the supremacy of the Grand Norm above all persons and authorities across the Federation. And Section 1, subsection 3 voids any law enacted, whether by the federal, state, or local government that contravenes the provision of the Grand Norm. This means that any River State law that empowers the governor to appoint any ad hoc government in whatever guise to run affairs of the local government council remains null and void. So nothing wrong if police decide to defend our operating Grand Norm against illegality and total disrespect of the 1999 Constitution by Governor Sim Fubara. Cross-carpeting of political parties by politicians has a practice in River State, and nobody has been losing seat. But since Governor Sim Fubara's group has this practice, is an issue. It is therefore also right to discontinue a caretaker's administration in the state. What is lawful should be lawful, and what is unlawful should remain unlawful in River State. down. But I've got Gospel from Rumukrushi. Gospel, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
I think in as much as I exempt this government, according to the law that was talking to us, I think they don't want to have the caretaker. Don't have respect. Most of all these governors don't have respect for the local government. We have 3 tiers, federal, state, and the local. But among them, they don't have respect for this government. Look at what is happening. People have a caretaker. I mean, you have a caretaker. He can have a caretaker. I don't know why the caretaker should be taking care of the local government. And then again, this blockage of local government, I think for me, I don't think it to be bad. Because if anything happens now, we will still call the police.
All right.
And because this party now will come, the opposition will like what we are hearing. Some local government chairman, they still want to go for appeal. And they are still claiming that they are still in charge. I have some of them, they are still in charge. Automatically, if they should release the place at sea, their police will come to let them declare and maintain peace and order. All these things will come to pass. There will be calmness in the state. When it will come, they will be there and they take charge. But for now, let these people be there. Because when we talk the lawlessness, the police are not supposed to be there. Really, they may not be supposed to be there. But
all right. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I've got Letambari. Oh, sorry about that, Letambari. Do call back if you can. Missed that one as well. Do call back if you can. Let's read some more messages. This one says, if lawmakers have the right to make laws, then why is the prof always faulting the local government tenure elongation law made by the assembly? You said, I don't want to believe what people say these days. Okay, all right, Uzama, I've got to skip your message. I'm going to take this call. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Oh, something is wrong with the phone lines. 92.3 Nigeria Info. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Good evening, Canada.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Quickly, please, let's get your thoughts,
River
please.
State cannot be an exception. About 21 states are under caretaker committee chairman in this country. Why is it that River State is different? Why? Everybody does wow. Scatter. Huh? God is on the throne. No.
All right, then. All right.
They should ameliorate. Are they not brothers and sisters? And we are strangers. We are looking at them. Huh? We came from Yoruba land. And we can't take the idea. What's wrong with rivers?
All right.
Your thought today can be your thought tomorrow. God bless you, Canada.
All right. Thank you very much. I've got Mrs. Ken from Port Harcourt. Mrs. Ken, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Hello. All right. It looks like there is a problem with the phone lines. So I'm going to go back to you, Prof. Some people have said, for instance, that the Grand Norm should be respected, and it's not automatic. You know, you saying that the lawmakers have lost their seat and cannot be making laws. So yeah, some people are arguing that. Some people are saying the ground norms should be respected, and that caretaker governments are not supposed to be. So in the case of Rivers State, is there any other legal option when we look at the local government in terms of administration? Because RESEC has come out to say October 5 is when they would conduct elections. So do we have any other legal option?
The only legal option is to take steps that to have the appointed committees declared unconstitutional, which you do by going to court. And what I already told you, you have case involving Rivers State pending at the Supreme Court on that question. So it's either you wait for that to take care of it, or you get a court to strike it down and order the government to do what needs to be done. But I must also bring to your attention the fact that even under the Constitution, you know that Nigeria will not hold an election if anything happens and the president and the vice president die.
Okay.
Or are no longer available. I'm sure you know that the Constitution makes arrangement for what should happen. That the president of Senate will be sworn in. He will not be a democratically elected president, but he will be an interim president.
Okay.
If that passes and he himself is not available, it provides for the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Chief Justice of Nigeria, to be sworn in. To remain there and conduct elections. He is not a democratically elected official or president if that happens. Every law setting up administration makes provision for periods of such interregnums. It makes such provision. So why the Supreme Court has made pronouncements and we are bound by that and we have to work towards that, you will have to come up with what happens, because you can actually have a situation where it is impossible to hold election. You don't wait until that happens. It could be flood, it could be natural disaster, it could be war, it could be anything. There must be provision of law on what to happen. How this is. So I think we just go with where it is. Somebody mentioned Section 1, Section 3. I have always also referred to that provision. That is correct. That is why you need to go to court for a court to declare it unconstitutional.
Okay.
You and I cannot declare unconstitutional. Now, you have said that the other issue is in court. I don't know if you know of any case where what is in issue is the validity of defection and validity of declaration of vacancy of those. I do not know of one.
There are three cases, as a matter of fact. There is there is the one by the Rivers Civil Society Organization. There is the one by the elders, some people under the ages of the elders, and there is one by Boot Party. So I think the one for Boot Party and Risco is coming up on the 17th. Another is coming. I think there's also Labour Party's suit against the defection coming up on the 20th.
Now, what all of those cases are doing, what all of those cases are asking for, is to ask the court to determine the validity of the status quo. The earliest of them is the order made by Justice Okorowo, and that came 2 days. That came on 15th of December, 2 days after the seats were declared vacant. In law, what you need is an order of court. Setting aside that declaration, before that issue will be an issue that is live and pending. The status quo is that declaration has been made. And the question now is whether it will stand or not whether it should be made. So there's a clear difference between them.
All right.
Very clear difference. It's important for the public to understand where we stand at the moment.
Okay.
Which is the status quo.
All right then. Let's take another call. Let's see if the phone lines are better. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. I've got I've got Emeka, and Emeka is calling me from MOR. So let's take a listen to Emeka right now. Emeka, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Emeka, can you hear me?
Yes, Canada. I can hear you.
But I can't.
Calling from MOR, local government.
Emeka, I can't hear you very well, so I have to let that one go. Hello, what's your name? Hello, are you there? Oh my. Can you hear me? All right, I've got Peter from Port Harcourt. Peter, welcome. What is on your mind?
Wokocha is very biased this time around.
Why do you say so?
I don't know what Chief did to him.
Not like. Okay, thank you very much. That's not how we comment on the show. We would like you to go straight to the issue, deal on the issue and not on the personality. We don't attack personality. I've said that 1,000 times. I'll say it again. Keep your calls coming in and let's get your thoughts. I think the phone lines are really crazy today, but we keep trying. 92.3 Nigerian for what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, are you there?
Hello, my name is Daniel, calling from Wokocha.
All right, Daniel from Wokocha, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm listening to you. Yes, I'm listening. I'm waiting for you. Quickly, please. Are you there, Daniel? Oh, my. Okay. All right. I would have to let that one go as well. I've got Stephen, and Stephen is calling me from Port Harcourt. Stephen, welcome. What is on your mind?
All right, thank you.
All right. Go ahead. I'm listening, Stephen.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
My problem about the local government lockup is not about why blocking the road. If they are blocking the local government, they should block up the gate and allow you to go to Rubokuru. You cannot pass. Everywhere is locked because they locked the local government council. Why not blocking the gate and allow the traffic to flow? We can pass. We are just stuck there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mrs. Kem from Port Harcourt, welcome.
Yeah, Canada, good evening.
You're welcome.
Network is too crazy.
All right, go ahead quickly. Let's
talking
use.
about the continual barricade and asking to take legal action and all that, I want to ask a question. They are saying the court, I think court has given a judgment as in that favored the caretaker. Is it that favored the caretaker or the River State government? The same appeal court that struck out the matter of the 21 local government council chairmen are the same appeal court that has allowed Martins and Mehule to come to stay. Are you aware? Was the matter obeyed?
It did not necessarily say they should.
The matter was not obeyed.
Okay.
So when we talk about court of appeal reverses expulsion of Martin Samuel and 24 others. What is expulsion? Expulsion is the action of forcing somebody to leave a place or expelling somebody. And they went to appeal court, and the appeal court reverses the expulsion. And the governor is telling us they are not recognized. Who is fooling who at this point in time?
All right.
So they then want us to obey the court order that favors them, and they will not obey the court order that favors others until we learn how to obey the rule of law. We keep on lamenting.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Scan. My time is up, so Prof, let's get your final words on this very issue as we wrap up the conversation.
People talking about judgment where CCTVs are available should look at the CCTV so that you know what you are talking about and you talk about what the court talks about, not your interpretation or interpretation that some other people have given to that. I think you do not have the time for us to go further on that. And then on a final note, the police should secure the place, not seize the place. There is no power to seize a public space. There is only power to secure adequately.
All right, then. Thank you very much for your time, Professor Richard Wokocha, Professor of Law, River State University. Apparently, we've had very poor network, and it's been very difficult getting to take your calls. But we would still touch on this matter during the open season. I'll give you the opportunity to call and talk and air your views. We'll go for a quick break, a quick commercial break. When we come back, it will be time for the major news at 6. So please do stay tuned.